What in the heck's going on, guys? Just got done putting this stone through its paces. So we're just going to continue on. Take a sip of my lemon water from my Mr. Wonderful cup that my wife got me. Oh, I love it. Love it. Alright, so today I want to talk about this. I kind of introduced you to this little cheapy piece here. We're going to do a review. Let's find out if it's any good or not. This is a pull-through sharpener. Picked it up at Harbor Freight for $2.99. Can you see it there? Pull-through sharpener. Not the combination, whatever. What does it say? Handheld knife sharpener. $2.99. Usually you get what you pay for. And normally, when I talk to anybody who's really not into knives, or maybe they are into knives, okay, but they aren't really into the sharpening side of things, if you ask them how they sharpen their knives, they will say, oh, I have this little pull-through thing that just pulls through. Now there's, let's bring you guys up here. Can you see me? Can you see me? Is that good? Ooh, way in the shadow. Anyways, let's bring you back down then. Normally there's a bunch of different versions of that, but the only one that I would even recommend that you might want to try is one that has ceramic rods in it. Do not mess around with the ones that have carbide, like scraper bits in there. It looks like a carbide metal saw blade tooth thing, okay? If you are going to use any of these pull-through things, please, for the love of your knives, if you're using anything that's not complete crap and you care anything about it, don't use those pull-through things. If you do, please make sure it has these ceramic rods in there. Can you see that? Maybe the shadow is still fighting us. You see how this is a pull-through sharpener with the ceramic rods in it. Again, for $2.99, I'm not expecting much. I want to put this through the paces here and see what we can see. Oh, I just flipped it over looking at my display. Now this knife is not that dull, but I would not carry this out. It is a little too dull for that. I think I'm not getting cut here. I could almost slide my finger with a lot of pressure on here. So what this sharpener is supposed to be made for is very light touch-ups. I have no experience with this. We're going to find out together if this is worth your time. Now, why would you normally not want to use the carbide wheels? They're either wheels usually in these pull-through things. Sometimes they're real tiny little contraptions. Sometimes they look like the scraper things that we had just talked about, okay? Because how steels work is they usually have carbide content that has like chunks. Think about like hard chunks inside your steel. So really what a carbide scraper does, what the scraper does when you pull through, okay, is rip out your hard chunks and leaves behind a frayed mess of an edge that to somebody who's not really into knives or somebody who doesn't really know what a sharp knife is, it feels sharp because it has a lot of micro serrations on there. So, what's my camera doing? So anyways, it's going to feel sharp. It may even cut okay because it is like a little mini serrated edge, but it's not going to hold an edge very long, and you're going to find yourself pulling through and using that thing more and more and more because you're pulling out the good hard part of your steel and you're leaving behind crap. So when you're actually sharpening on a good high quality stone or a good diamond guided system or whatever you use, you're actually grinding away the steel and you're honing and sharpening those carbides, so you're leaving those in there, okay? So those pull-through things, a long way of saying they're a bad idea. This is a pull-through thing, but it has a ceramic rod in there. Now a ceramic rod, in theory, because they're round and all that, shouldn't pull out your carbides in your edge. It should hone your edge much like a what is that? A sharp maker would. So just to test this thing out, okay, we're going to put a Sharpie on the edge. We're going to do the old Sharpie trick. Oh shoot, I forgot to show you guys if this thing will even cut. Now I put Sharpie on the very edge. Got ahead of myself a little bit, but I'm trying to rush through this. I don't aim at making long videos, it just happens. You can see this. Like I said, I wouldn't carry this. You can see it kind of rips through. It's not slicing at all. But it'll cut it. But it does slip all around off my thumbnail here. But I just got done sharpening a knife, so now I kind of have grooves in my thumbnail. Okay. If you thought, well, maybe it was biting on there. Let's use the back of this pen. See how it's wanting to slide? I guess the belly's maybe okay. It needs honing. This knife needs honing before I'd put it in my pocket, just personally. Now I show you and it did cut. Imagine that. Just believe me. So let's see if this thing is any good. We're going to pull through here. I'm trying to get it at an angle you guys can see it at. Okay. Let's pop this down just a little bit. Let's pull this through and see if it removes any of the steel at the edge. Man, you guys don't know how much I hate this because it's rounding off my tip when I pull through here. That's rounding off your tip every time I slip on this, so. Oh, I hate doing this. I should not have bought this. I just know that a lot of people think that these pull-through things work. And here's the thing. The way I personally think and believe, if it works for them and they're happy, who am I to tell them it doesn't work? Okay? But you can get much better performance out of your knife by sharpening it properly. So I'm very curious. And now, wow. It did remove all of that Sharpie. Can you see that? Most of that Sharpie's gone. Let's feel it. Let's see what it did. It feels sharp, I'm not gonna lie. It does feel sharp. Let's see what happened. No stropping. We're coming straight off ceramic rods. We're gonna cut this paper. This might be a better buy, but they're different things. What I was gonna say, maybe a better buy than the $2.99 stone that we just made the video on. Hey. Just feels sharp. Maybe that ceramic still ripped out the edge. That's funny. That is too funny. You can see very clearly. It feels sharp to my hand. To my thumb. It feels sharp. It's not. Now, because it does feel like it has a little bit of a coarse edge on it, I wouldn't want to slide my finger here with any pressure. So there's the thing though, right? So if it does feel sharp and it does make your knife work, it just breaks my heart because I know the steel can perform better than it does. Yeah, it actually feels like it got a little bit duller. Let's try it just a few more times. Because I think that the motion is actually pulling through still, right? Even if it is at an angle like this, that's not how you sharpen. You sharpen by going parallel and down, forward, right? So you're actually sharpening your knife. You're sharpening away the steel to come down to a point to remove any kind of damage, okay? When you're sliding through, it'd be very hard to sharpen your knife like this. Sliding parallel with the edge. Now you may think a sharp maker does that. Sharp maker is up at a V, or any kind of crook sticks, what they call them. But you're still coming with a downward motion and sliding it down and out like that. So really you're still sharpening like you would be here. Does that make sense? When you're on your Spyderco sharp maker, which is a great tool, you're still sliding down. Yes, you are kind of coming through like this, but it's not a straight pull through motion. You're kind of coming down and pulling down like that, which is no different stroke than what you do on a stone. Because you're still kind of moving from here to here, but you're still mostly going against the edge. Does that make sense? You're not pulling with the edge. Yeah, don't buy this. This thing's crap. I'm going to tell you, if you care anything about your knives, throw this thing away that you have. I don't care if it works for you in the kitchen. Your knives deserve better. They're going to hold a better edge by properly being sharpened. This is not worth your $2.99. None of those other ones, especially if it's like a metal scraper. You'll see it when you look inside of them. This is rounding my tip something awful too. See, I'm still pulling it through. I'm pulling through this pulling motion. I'm really afraid that's taking out the carbides in the edge and making it a very dull edge, and is pulling out all of the hard chunks. That actually did feel like it did a little bit better, but I'm telling you, this is not good for the steel, even the ceramic ones. What's so funny is it'll trick you, because this does feel sharp, and I've got a very well calibrated thumb, but this edge will not last. What would be an interesting video is to do this test and then go cut a bunch of cardboard and then sharpen it up how I would normally do it, using diamonds and diamond strops and stuff, and then see the difference in edge holding in the same exact blade. That would be a fun test. Might have to do that when I get some time, because that video would definitely have to be edited. That's it. Boy, this knife got real heavy when we added on those Wilkins titanium grips on here. Anyways, that's it, guys. Please don't mess with any pull-through sharpeners. If you absolutely have to, make sure they have the ceramic rods in there. Okay? If you care anything about edge holding and properly maintaining your knives. That's it. See ya.